Let me tell you a story. A story from a small village in the United States. It's not the kind of story you'd usually find in newspapers or on TV, but it's the kind of story that can truly change the way you see life. In this quiet little village, there lived an old lady named Margaret. Everyone in the town knew her. She wasn't rich, she wasn't famous, but she was different. You see, Margaret had a way of looking at life that made people stop and think. She was nearly 80 years old, with silver hair and a slow walk. But whenever you met her, she carried a smile. Not the kind of forced smile people put on for photos. No, this was the kind of smile that came from deep inside her soul. Now here's the thing. Margaret's life wasn't easy. She grew up in poverty. She lost her husband when she was still young. She raised 3 children on her own, working on farms, cleaning houses, and doing whatever job she could find. Later, when her children grew up and moved to different cities, she was left all alone. And yet not once did she complain. People used to ask her, "Margaret, how do you stay so positive? How can you smile after everything you've been through?" And she would simply say, "Because life is still beautiful. Every morning I wake up, I thank God for another chance to live. I choose to see what's good, not what's missing." There was a young man in that same village, named Daniel. He was struggling with his life. He had lost his job, his relationship had ended, and he felt like the whole world was against him. Daniel often sat alone on a bench near the little church, head down, thinking about giving up. One afternoon, Margaret noticed him. She walked over slowly with her cane, sat beside him, and said, "Son, why do you look so heavy with sadness?" Daniel sighed. "Everything is falling apart in my life. I've lost everything. I don't see the point of trying anymore." Margaret looked at him with her kind, wrinkled eyes and said, "Listen carefully. You haven't lost everything. You're still breathing. You still have today. And as long as you have today, you can start again. Do you know my secret? I never focus on what I don't have. I focus on what I do have. That's what keeps me alive. And that's what gives me strength." Daniel didn't say much at that moment, but those words stuck in his mind. That night, when he went home, he thought about Margaret's life. If this old lady who had faced so much pain could still find reasons to smile, then maybe, just maybe, he could too. The next morning, Daniel decided to change one thing. Instead of waking up and thinking about his problems, he wrote down 3 small things he was grateful for. At first, it was simple things like the roof over his head, a warm meal, or the fact that he was still alive. Day by day, he started to notice that his mindset was shifting. Weeks turned into months. Daniel found a new job. He started meeting new people. Slowly, hope returned to his life. He often told his friends, "It all started with a conversation with an old lady named Margaret. She taught me that the power of positive thinking isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing where to put your focus. You can either look at the darkness or you can look at the light." Years later, when Margaret passed away, the entire village came together to honor her. People didn't just remember her as an old lady, they remembered her as a symbol of hope. She had left behind something far greater than money or property. She left behind a lesson that no matter how hard life gets, a positive mind can change everything. So if you are listening to this story right now, remember this. Life will never be perfect. There will always be struggles, losses, and moments that test you. But what matters is how you choose to think in those moments. Positive thinking won't erase your problems, but it will give you the strength to overcome them. Like Margaret said, as long as you are alive, as long as you can open your eyes to a new day, you still have something. And that something is enough to start again. This, my friends, is the true power of positive thinking.